The fascination with horror movies is an age-old phenomenon that draws us into the dark recesses of human imagination. What makes these movies even more bone-chilling is when they are rooted in real-life events. The blend of fiction and reality sends shivers down our spines, making us question the thin line between the known and the unknown. Let's take a look at top 10 horror movies. Number 1. The Exorcist, 1973. The Exorcist, released in 1973, remains a spine-chilling classic in the horror genre, known for its terrifying portrayal of demonic possession. Directed by William Friedkin and based on William Peter Blatty's novel of the same name, the film was inspired by the real-life 1949 case of a boy named Roland Doe, who underwent an exorcism in Maryland. The terrifying experiences recounted in this case served as a foundation for the intense and horrifying narrative of the film. One of the reasons The Exorcist became so infamous is the alleged series of eerie events surrounding its production. Rumors swirled about a mysterious curse, linking the film with a string of tragedies and misfortunes. Some claimed that the set was haunted, and several actors, including Jack McGoran and Vasiliki Maliaros, passed away shortly after filming. Number 2. The Conjuring, 2013. Based on the experiences of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, The Conjuring follows the Perron family as they encounter disturbing supernatural occurrences in their new home. In 2013, horror aficionados were in for a spine-chilling treat with the release of The Conjuring, a film that sent shivers down the spines of audiences worldwide. What made this movie even more terrifying was the fact that it was based on a real story, adding a layer of dread that haunted viewers long after leaving the theater. The film centered around the paranormal investigations of Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators who were called to help a family terrorized by dark forces in their farmhouse. The story was inspired by the real-life Perron family, who claimed to have experienced disturbing supernatural events in their Rhode Island home during the 1970s. What makes the tale even more unsettling are the reported paranormal activities associated with the real-life events. The Perron family recounted instances of unexplained noises, objects moving on their own, and eerie apparitions haunting their home. Number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Freddy Krueger, a vengeful spirit, haunts the dreams of teenagers, causing real harm to them in their sleep. A Nightmare on Elm Street, released in 1984, remains a classic in the horror genre, captivating audiences with its spine-chilling narrative and terrifying villain, Freddy Krueger. Wes Cravens, the mastermind behind the psychotic film, drew inspiration from a series of newspaper articles about mysterious deaths among refugees who, after fleeing war-torn Cambodia, were plagued by disturbing nightmares. These nightmares were so intense that some individuals refused to sleep, fearing they would never wake up again. Craven ingeniously translated this real-world fear into the fictional tale of Freddy Krueger, a vengeful spirit who haunts the dreams of Elm Street's teenagers. What makes A Nightmare on Elm Street even more intriguing are the eerie events reported by the cast and crew during the filming. Numerous paranormal activities were said to have occurred on set, including unexplained technical glitches, strange noises, and objects moving on their own. Heather Langenkamp, who played the film's protagonist, Nancy Thompson, even claimed to have experienced vivid dreams involving Freddy Krueger while working on the movie, blurring the lines between reality and the supernatural. Number 4. The Amityville Horror, 1979. The Lutz family moves into a new home, unaware of its dark history, and experiences horrifying supernatural phenomena. The Amity Horror, 1979, is a horror film that has haunted the dreams of audiences for decades. What makes this movie even more terrifying is the fact that it's based on a real story. The film takes its inspiration from the experiences of the Lutz family, who moved into a large house in Amityville, New York in 1979. Unbeknownst to them, the house was the site of a gruesome mass murder the year before, where Ronald DeFeo Jr. killed 6 members of his own family. Shortly after the Lutz family moved in, they claimed to experience a series of terrifying and inexplicable events. These included strange noises, foul odors, and disturbing apparitions. The family's accounts of their paranormal encounters became the basis for the best-selling book by Jay Anson, which was later adapted into the iconic film. Number 5. The Texas Chain Saw Massacre, 1974. The Texas Chain Saw Massacre, released in 1974, stands as a seminal classic in the horror genre. Directed by Tobe Hooper, this film has haunted the dreams of viewers for decades with its raw intensity and visceral scares. Set in the desolate Texas countryside, the movie follows a group of friends who encounter a family of cannibals, including the infamous Leatherface, a chainsaw-wielding psychopath. What makes this film truly terrifying is its gritty realism and its ability to tap into primal fears. The feeling of isolation, the unknown terrors lurking in the dark, and the fragility of human life. Although not directly based on a true story, the film's inspiration can be traced back to the real-life murderer Ed Gein, who made clothing and furniture from human body parts. Gein's gruesome acts heavily influenced the character of Leatherface and added a horrifying layer of reality to the movie. Number 6. The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. FBI agent Clarice Starling seeks the help of incarcerated cannibalistic serial killer Dr. Hannibal Lecter to catch another serial killer. The Silence of the Lambs, released in 1991, is a gripping psychological thriller that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Directed by Jonathan Demme and starring Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, the film is based on the novel by Thomas Harris. It tells the chilling story of a young FBI trainee, Clarice Starling, seeking the help of imprisoned cannibalistic serial killer Dr. Hannibal Lecter to catch another serial killer named Buffalo Bill. The film is lauded for its intense performances, especially Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of the iconic Dr. Lecter, earning him an Academy Award for Best Actor. While the story is indeed a work of fiction, it's inspired by real-life events. Harris drew inspiration from his interactions with real-life criminals during his career as a journalist. The character of Hannibal Lecter is loosely based on a Mexican doctor, Alfredo Baldi Trevino, who was convicted of murdering and dismembering his lover in the 1960s. Number 7. Psycho, 1960. Psycho takes us into the disturbed mind of Norman Bates, a character eerily based on Ed Gein, a notorious killer and grave robber who lived in Plainfield, Wisconsin during the 1950s. Gein's gruesome crimes, including the inspiration for Bates's infamous taxidermy hobby, sent shockwaves through the nation, making him a morbid fascination for Hitchcock and providing the foundation for the film's terrifying narrative. Number 8. The Girl Next Door, 2007. The Girl Next Door, released in 2007, is a haunting and chilling film that delves into the depths of human cruelty and the darkness that can lurk within seemingly ordinary people. Directed by Gregory Wilson, it's a gruesome adaptation of Jack Ketchum's novel, which in turn was inspired by the horrifying true story of Sylvia Likens. In 1965, Sylvia Likens, a young girl, fell victim to unimaginable abuse and torture at the hands of her caregiver Gertrude Baniszewski and her children. The film portrays the brutal events that unfolded, capturing the harrowing reality of Sylvia's plight. The movie's portrayal is not just a work of fiction, it serves as a stark reminder of the very real and horrifying events that transpired. Number 9. The Haunting in Connecticut, 2009. The Haunting in Connecticut, released in 2009, is a horror film that gained popularity for its terrifying storyline. What makes this movie even more unsettling is the fact that it's based on a real story. The film is inspired by the experiences of the Snedeker family, who claimed to have encountered terrifying paranormal activities in their new home in Southington, Connecticut during the 1980s. According to the family, their house was a former funeral home, which they believe contributed to the eerie occurrences. The Snedeker family reported a series of disturbing events, including sights of apparitions, unexplained smells, and possessions. Their son, Philip, who was undergoing cancer treatment at the time, seemed to be particularly affected, experiencing terrifying visions and exhibiting disturbing behavior. Number 10. The Entity, 1982. The Entity, released in 1982, is a supernatural horror film directed by Sidney J. Furie. It tells the terrifying story of Carla Moran, a woman who claims to be tormented and sexually assaulted by an invisible entity. The film is particularly disturbing because it's based on real events. Carla Moran's experiences were chronicled in the book The Entity by Frank De Felitta, which was later adapted into this film. According to accounts, Carla Moran endured relentless attacks by an unseen force in her Culver City home during the 1970s. The Entity reportedly left physical bruises and bite marks on her body, creating an atmosphere of intense fear and desperation. Which movie did you find the most terrifying? Let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.